Over the last couple of weeks, certain shill sites out there have been trying to convince us that Brie Larsen doesn't have time for those internet trolls. In fact, they repeat it like a mantra. She doesn't have time for the internet trolls. What's funny about this is she tries to convince us that she doesn't Google her own name. And in fact, she talks about how self-absorbed she is in this stuff. Let me take a line from this. There is really nothing more pleasurable to me than observing my mind and interrogating myself. But of course, she doesn't look up headlines about herself. I mean, when she went out and responded to people talking about her not smiling as Captain Marvel, no, she didn't see that in headlines at all. When she went out and responded to a myriad of other things, including people saying, hey, you seem really entitled. When you went out and talked about getting hit on at the airport, yeah, that she didn't go out and Google her own name. Nope, it just somehow manifested. I guess within all that meditation she talks about, maybe if I repeat that mantra enough times, maybe I too will know it all. So hey there. So today we are returning to that wonderful world of cringe. And I really think that Brie Larsen has upgraded from a timeshare there to owning a certain zip code. You know, she's the 90210 of this area and maybe a little bit more too. Now, before we get into this article, it's a fun one in my opinion because it showcases how these folks, they want to sell the so stunning, so brave Brie Larsen. But at the same time, Brie Larsen comes off as so entitled. But before we get into that, real briefly, if you like this content, you want to help out the channel, consider subscribing to it. And I thank you sincerely for doing that beforehand. Also, think about interacting with the videos. That just means liking videos. If you like something, just hit that like button. And also interact by saying something in comments. You can say anything, just typing out letters. Anything pushes this forward. It's always fun there, and thank you in advance. So Brie Larsen doesn't have time for them internet trolls. Now, I always love how articles like this start out. Normally, I skip a lot of the article portions, but I want to point this out to you. They tell you about before Captain Marvel soars into theaters, a very vocal corner of the internet set their sights on Brie Larsen, and not in a good way. Now, what I think is hilarious about this is the article it ties to. Fan petition to replace Brie Larsen as Captain Marvel somehow hits its goal. Now, they act like they don't understand why this is. But let me tell you, when Brie Larsen had success as Captain Marvel, it wasn't because Brie Larsen sold Captain Marvel. Oh no, it's because Captain Marvel sold Brie Larsen. See, I think a lot of people get that twisted. The character was one that was looked forward to, one that people wanted to see. Brie Larsen brought nothing to that role, but hey, maybe the controversy around her brought something to it, but Brie Larsen didn't. So when people talk about replacing her, I think it's really understandable. They talk about, of course, how those online trolls failed and how Disney and Marvel stand behind her 100%, and they want to make her the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I think is absolutely hilarious because we saw that that wasn't the case. When Spider-Man came back, they dropped her as the face of the Marvel Cinematic Universe just like that. That wasn't so stunning. That wasn't so brave, was it? But Variety, they sat down with her and they talked to her about a few things. And here's a few quotes that I thought were fun here. So I don't have time for it, talking about the internet trolls out there. The things that I have extra time look forward to are, am I eating healthy foods? Am I drinking water? Am I meditating? Have I called my mom today? I wonder if she calls her mom and tells her that she's been reflecting on how great of a person she is, by the way. Not her mom, just her. I wonder if she calls her up. Hey, Mom, I've been thinking about how great I was as a child. Do you agree? If you don't, I'm going to hang up on you, and I'll never give you any of my Captain Marvel money. So anyway, continuing. More recently, I guess maybe it's because of Captain Marvel. I've had a lot of journalists be like, how often do you Google yourself? And I'm like, I never Google myself. That's a lie and a half right there. One that's hilarious, but still we know it's a lie. I've genuinely never needed to look at the internet to explain who I am. I'm extremely committed to that in my day-to-day life. There is nothing more pleasurable to me than observing my mind and interrogating myself. It is a thing I've done since I was a child, and I will do it for as long as I can. Again, that doesn't come off as entitled or self-absorbed, does it? Not at all. It totally sounds like a normal person that isn't a narcissist. Man, a lot of people grow up and they have to overcome problems, but not a person that's basically had so many backpats. You could have probably built a foundation or something, a wall with it. Smack that putty in. Smack it in. Get that to stand up really well. And I've been been super committed to having people in my life that I believe if I start veering too far in a direction and I need to change something or work on something, they'll take me to dinner and say, hey, I'm noticing this. I feel like you should look at that. So I trust that, and I trust that experience. Now, I don't think that people like this surround themselves with folks that they can trust to go and steer them in another direction they don't want to go in, to point out their flaws. People that say that they interrogate their own minds, that they observe themselves like this, they sit around and probably meditate on the idea that they're their own inner Buddha. Yeah, that probably doesn't end that way. They surround themselves with yes people. That's usually how it goes. And finishing this, when you have a mission and things that you want to do, and my time and my energy is limited, it becomes clear what I want to spend it on. And that's just not what's of interest to me. Yeah, but going out and again, trying to sell shill media on the idea that you're the greatest, telling them that you're going to go out and own those trolls with comments about smiling, that totally isn't that, is it? Is it at all? But anyway, let me know what you think about this. There's a little more to the article here, but like I said, I thought this part was funny. I thought you could check that out. And you could check the article out itself. But yeah, this has been a lot of stuff that has been attempted to sell anyway, but not really a good sell. But anyway, you tell me what you think about it. Now, ending this, I want to thank you for showing up and thank you for participating. You make this stuff possible. All these companies out there, they forget it. All these narcissists forget it. I never want to be like that. That's why I say this stuff, not really for you, but for me, to tell me that, hey, you don't matter in this. You speak in this, but people who show up, they're the ones that matter. So if you want to help out with interactions, awesome. But your time is valuable. I'll take up no more of it except to say thank you. I do appreciate you. We'll do this again soon, and I hope you can tune into that as well.